Well, first of all, we're ready to go. I mean, or we're getting closer to getting ready to go. Got a big game at home. I'm glad to be back at home. Play the best team in the conference. So we got to be ready to go. I mean, there's no question that they're the most athletic, and if you want to be a champion or playoff caliber type team, you got to beat these guys, and we need to play well and play with a lot of excitement and a lot of intensity if we're going to have a chance to be able to hang in there with Jacksonville State come Saturday.
Questions? Talk about just the Martin game. You got a chance to look over the film. Just kind of what happened there early on. Was it just more them than your team, or what? First quarter.
As much as you hate to do it, you got to tip your hat to UT Martin. I mean, they came out excited. They were extremely focused on the task at hand. They're well coached, and I always say it. Nobody ever gives the other team any credit. They got good coaches. Their players got mamas and daddies. They got fans that want them to. They practice hard and train and whatnot. And first quarter, they just put it to us. And I'll be honest with you. It's easy to say now, but it's the truth that I saw it coming, and I told the team that. I saw that happening Thursday night. Several different reasons. I think we played a very intense football game and a very physical game against Tennessee State. I don't think, we show up Sunday and it's a little more intense, condensed week, so we had to be a little more physical than we normally would be on a Sunday. I could sense that our guys were tired mentally and physically, so we had to pull back a little bit. I mean, you couldn't beat them up, and by doing that, you had to keep your game plan very simple just because of the limited amount of time to work, which shouldn't be an issue. It's never been an issue before at where I've been. And then I'm sure that they had their ears pinned back for us, and we beat them pretty good last year, and maybe we got to thinking we're a little better than we really are, and when you put all that stuff together, it turns into a butt whooping, and that's what happened. Now the positive for that is, after the first quarter barrage they threw on us, we actually outscored them, for the remaining three quarters. So. I don't think we quit. Maybe a couple of them didn't play as hard as they needed to at the end of the game. And what I saw coming happen, and then what I was hoping though is that we would be good enough to come back and win a close one at the end, and then I could use that. It's a lot easier teaching when you're in a good mood than it is when you're in a bad mood, but it didn't work that way. Second half, we go down, and boy, if we are able to score a touchdown as opposed to a field goal, maybe we get over the hump. On the comeback attempt, we kept getting right to the brink of me feeling like, okay, we're fixing to win this thing, but we never could. I never got the feeling that we were going to make that happen. And I remind our guys all the time. I've coached a bunch of teams that have come back. In fact, we hold at Georgia Southern, we held the FCS record, probably still do, 31-point comeback. With 10 minutes 50 seconds to go in the football game and whatnot, and at that game it just felt like you seized the momentum and you wasn't going to be denied. So never got to that point, but it's a game of inches. I don't think we didn't, coaches didn't prepare well. We didn't coach with enough excitement. Players, we didn't play well and play with enough excitement. But it's crazy how the game goes. We 3-and-out them. Boy, we got a chance to block the punt and we miss it. They get the first down. We got a corner blitz called. We miss it. They get a big play on it. We get the ball back. We go down the field. We got a good drive going and get a personal foul on us. And then from there, it just went straight south in a hurry. You block the punt, you scoop and score, you up 7-0. Could be a whole different game. So you just got to make those plays. But they played like we normally play, with a lot of excitement, come out of the gates quickly, and just wasn't a very good game for us. And I'll say this, we got a lot of work to do. I know there's a lot of hype surrounding the program, and I like it that way. I mean, that's just the kind of guy I am. I mean, I'd rather I want them talking about, you know, the season and whatnot, but you know, we still got a ways to go. I mean, you think down there at Martin, I mean, you know, he's had, 6 years to build that program, you know, to where he wants it, and he's a fine coach. And we talked about early in the year that, you know, if we get a couple guys banged up, you know, we're in a bind. I mean, our top 22, you know, I feel like could play against anybody, but then after that, you know, certain positions, well, we just don't have a whole lot back there that are game ready at this time. And so our worst fears have happened. We've gotten some of our better players injured, and really have to do some Houdini stuff to cover those guys up a little bit. But again, you know, I could sit here and go the if, ands, whys, and what I think happened. Bottom line is, I mean, they put it to us, and I mean, if you want to get to the nuts and bolts about it, they beat us at our game, and it was not a very fun night. And as a coach, I mean, you know, not much you can do about it. I told my wife Monday night, she was mad at me, and I said, I can't sleep. I said, my stomach's hurting. I said, because I just saw it come, and you know, there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes it takes getting your fanny whooped to wake up and realize that, hey, we better prepare a little bit harder if we're going to be a good football team.
Talk about Jacksonville State, specifically kind of what you see. You talked about their athletic talent. Any players that jump out at you off that team?
Well, they're all pretty good. You know, I mean, and if you start defensively, you know, their defensive fronts will be the best we play. I mean, they really are. They really are good. And then the Jackson boy that they got from Ole Miss, I mean, he's a special football player. And they just got tremendous speed over there. I mean, they're really do a nice job. And then offensively, Cody Blanchard, I mean, you know, he's one of the best in the conference. I really do. I mean, he can do it all. He's a threat throwing. He's a threat running. He's a great punter. He's a drafty in baseball. I mean, I've known the guy for a while. I mean, he's a good player. And then they got, Washawn Ely from Georgia, who, of course, he's pretty good too. And they just got a good football team, and I think that's maybe I don't know that they've been fired on all cylinders yet, but there's a reason they've kind of been the bell cow of this conference. I'm assuming ever since they got in. I know since I've been here, they're a pretty salty bunch.
I know you comforted a little bit being able to play Jacksonville State at home this year. Just you guys play so much better at home, and I know maybe the crowd will be a little bit smaller, but just being able to do that this week. Yeah, I mean, it's always good. You're right. I mean, we have played better at home than we have played on the road, and we got to learn to travel better, go into different environments, and play better on the road. But it is good to be here and whatnot. And like I said, I mean, this is a game that it's early in the season. I've said it all along. I mean, I don't know if we're a championship team. I mean, I know, y'all write about it. I mean, I know that Neil and Will, they write about it all the time, and it sells newspapers and whatnot. But I mean, we still got a ways to go. I mean, I think, like I said earlier in the year, we're a better team than we were last year. Now, will that equal that we have, more wins than we had last year? You don't ever know. But we got to get some luck. I mean, we got to get some guys healthy. Some guys got to step up and make some plays. And the hard thing about that is, you kind of gotta alter a little bit what you do to put some guys in positions to be successful. I mean, like defensively. I mean, we are more of a man team because we've had 2 lockdown corners. Now we're at 1, and the other night we tried to move Dontrell around as much as we could, but after the first couple plays of the game, they quit throwing to 24 side and they started throwing to the other side, and so things like that make it a long week of preparation from a coaching staff. But again, I like our team. I'm excited. The bottom line is we have to play with great intensity, great enthusiasm in order to have a chance to win, and we didn't do that the other night.